What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here on WCR Daily. I am making noise, but I'm here with John Lee, who is at the airport as we speak. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just a long day, not really too long of a day, but a full day of traveling. Got an early start, so
Yeah,
I'm home now. So good to be back.
nice. You're one step closer.
Yeah, one step closer. Thank goodness there was
Well, if you guys,
no delays.
wow, that's good. See, that's where you go on the
Yeah,
flights early so that they don't stop you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
had a good, just real smooth. Everything was on time.
nice, nice. Well, if you guys don't know John Lee, you're living under a rock, but John Lee is the OG. He's been in the game for is it 1,000,000 years now? Something along those lines, I think.
Close to it, I think. Yeah.
But John also does the Westy Wagon, which, if you haven't seen, is all about products. It is awesome. So that's what we're talking about today. We're actually going to be talking a little bit about the waterfed brushes, kind of which ones you want to use and when, what the best brush is out there. So if you're here and you're watching and listening, go ahead and comment what your favorite brush is. I would love to hear that. But John, tell us a little bit about brushes and why you pick what you do, and what the benefits of one over the other would be. Like, just give a quick rundown on them.
Yeah, so we'll start out some of the terminology I think will help people understand. There's single trim brushes, there's dual trim brushes, there's dual jet brushes, there's quad jet brushes. Now we have rinse bars. We have rinse bars over the top. We have them in the middle. We have them on the bottom. We have them all the way around. It's
It's a little
really,
overwhelming
yeah,
for people.
it really. It's so funny because my first, many of you know, I started out with the Tucker aluminum like in the early 80s. And at that time, they just basically used a DuPont nylon, either a all single trim or a dual trim brush. Two jets, um, or actually, you could get the over the top back then and the jets, because they used to use, when you use the silicone soap, the soap would come out of the brush and you had an over the top rinse.
And what people don't know is those first ones, those are water through brushes. Remember, like the gooseneck, you couldn't adjust it because the water went through the gooseneck. It was like connected to it, like with like a shower faucet head or something.
Yeah, and that's the screw that held the brush on was the jet. So it's pretty clever. But talking about brushes and different kinds now, probably the most popular brush I would say in the last few years has been the hybrid, which is where they take Josh, you got one to grab there, explain it to you a little bit. The advantages of nylon is that it's real slick on the glass. It does not hold dirt. It's what's called a continuous filament material, which just means if you have kids or grandkids or whatever, if you ever play Play-Doh with them, you take that little Play-Doh squeezer and you put it in, you squeeze it, it comes out.
Yeah.
That's the way they make nylon. And DuPont has for many years, that's the way they make nylon. So because it's a continuous filament, it doesn't hold any dirt. The advantage of that is, you can leave the brush on the glass and it wouldn't trap any dirt or, put dirt back on the window. And then the dual trim just means where the center bristles are trimmed shorter than the outer bristles. Purpose of that was to give you some scrubbing power. So with the hybrid, really cool. They took dual trim and they trimmed the center bristles, but they are boar's hair, which is really nice. So you're getting good scrub power out of a more boar's hair is a natural bristle. So instead of being a continuous filament, it is just shorter bristles that are woven together.
Yeah.
Therefore, every part of that bristle that touches the glass will actually clean the glass. Whereas nylon, a lot of people get this messed up. They think with nylon brushes, think if they push harder, it'll scrub better. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not enough weight," But the only part of the bristle that cleans is the tips. So it's really counterproductive with nylon to press or to push. You
Yeah.
know,
What's
and
interesting about the natural fibers that you talk about too, that people kind of don't understand why boar's hair would scrub better. But if you ever look at hair under a microscope, it's almost like layers, like on the sides. You can see the follicle as the hair grows. And that's what's
mhm,
cleaning, where in a natural filament, it's smooth. They can't do anything but extrude it. So there just isn't any
right.
texture on the side. So you get a better scrub with boar's hair, but boar's hair tends to wear out a little bit faster, just like any natural product over synthetic does.
And then they came out with one that's really cool. Unger they make one now that's called flock bristle. So the theory is the more tips touching the glass, the tips of the brush touching the glass, it's going to give you more cleaning. So they take one single fiber and they flock it so it becomes 10. They split it. It's like split
Yeah.
ends, like on your hair, split ends. And theory behind that is, you got more bristles touching the glass, it's going to clean better. So it's a flock bristle brush.
Now, I do like the fact that you said split ends like in your hair, and then you went like
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
people
yeah.
don't know, but John Lee used to have some very elegantly
I
long
still
hair.
got a little bit going there.
Like,
Just
yeah, but that's
way back in
exactly
the hippie days. Yeah,
right, right. Just a couple days ago, yeah, a couple
yeah.
years ago. But flock Brussels actually they were real popular for a while, and then they kind of
Yeah,
disappeared, and then now they're kind of coming
yeah,
back. And there's a
yeah.
difference between grades of boar's hair too. Have you tried the Ettore boar's hair?
Yeah, actually, years ago, um, Ettore came out with a boar's hair brush. It was super popular with the very first Tory poles. And then they also had the thing with boar's hair you'll see in brushes. They've been around forever. As a matter of fact, I used to run into window cleaners that use boar's. I personally did too. Use boar's hair brushes to wet the windows.
Yeah, instead of a
And
T-bar. Yeah.
yeah, instead of a T-bar, and you had round ones, you had rectangular ones,
Little wood
you had
blocks.
wood block ones, and yeah, they are more sticky on the glass, because of the fact that it's a natural fiber. It's more bristly, like you said, more layers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've,
I was just gonna say one of the other things that are really cool about the hybrid that I like is that when you have a natural fiber and that natural fiber gets wet, it tends to kind of weep. It kind of everybody's had their brush. But with this, you have synthetic on the outside, so the part that gets into the nooks and crannies in the frame and the sills, and that always stays like this because even when it's wet, it doesn't change. So it almost holds the edge where you have a full boar's hair brush, which Jacob tells in the comments. He said that his favorite is the full boar's hair. But then
yeah,
you can't really get into the edges quite the same because that tends to weep down when it's wet.
yeah. The full boar's hair. I mean, it's a great brush. It does lose its shape. A lot of people don't know. You have to soak it, in hot water, and then you can reshape it. You know. But they do tend to shed, and they do tend to mat up. I mean, and have too, being customer service. We've seen pictures of brushes, boar's hair
They're
brushes.
not really.
What?
Get a
Whoa, what
pick.
happened to
Like
that?
get a hair pick, and then you can comb them out. People who just they
Yeah,
scrub super hard with it, and then they just end up having them get matted and just. I've
yeah.
seen some really bad ones. Is like the
Oh
second
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
I don't know how
yeah,
hard they're pushing to make that happen, but
yeah,
man,
yeah. They do mat up for sure. And yeah, so then the other thing about brushes that's interesting is the rinse aspect of them. So for years, um, we only used two jets, um, which always worked fine. Of course, before it sprayed over the top. Then they actually changed. This is something one time I was talking to Tommy Tucker about it. He said it wasn't even his idea. The over the top spray used to be a pencil. And then someone came up with the idea. He said it wasn't even, like a window cleaner. He didn't think, whatever. to switch it, to more of a fan.
Yeah.
And so, but now we have fan jets, we have pencil jets, we have over-the-top rinse bars, we have rinse bars in the middle, we have rinse bars all the way around.
Yeah, you can really put out the water. You lose pressure though if you put too much water out. So some of these
Yeah,
guys who want to run like 4 jets and rinse bar, and they don't. You're kind of wasting water at a certain point, but you also
sure
need to
are.
have a
Yeah,
system that's putting it out for it to even make
yeah,
sense.
yeah. There's a theory out there. I've heard it. There's two theories. There's people that think the brush does the cleaning, the water's just there for the dirt to attach it, and there's others that like to have lots of water and think, well, that actually makes us be able to go faster and clean faster. You know. So both are right, I guess. It's whatever works for you. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but I never something that I think's got misunderstood with rinse bar. The rinse bar was never designed to be used with the jets. It
yeah,
was designed uh, to be used, over the
one or the
top.
other. Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other thing about the rinse bar is the purpose, not Tucker's, theirs, was there to rinse because the soap was coming through the brush. But the ones that we use now, the original first designs, at least that I was a part of, it was designed so you could leave the brush on the glass.
Yeah.
So the last thing, the up motion clean, the down motion is what rinse. So as the brush came down, the bristle, the last thing that touched that glass was pure water. So you really didn't have to
Yeah.
take the brush off the glass. And then so when we first, I think when rinse bars first came out, people didn't understand the difference between, pressure and flow. So they were saying, I don't have, it's not shooting out far enough. But it really only needs to shoot however far that jet is from the glass. Yeah,
Yeah. It just has to get past the bristle if you're running
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even when you're downstroking, when you downstroke, it actually just is right there almost at the window because of the angle of the brush.
Yeah. Well, and like we always say too, if you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, I know there's a ton of different brushes. Ask John. John, what's your number if somebody wants to call you, text you, whatever? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 865-310-0728. We can put that in there. Also, you can if you call the office that during the day, they can transfer the phone right over to me. You can text me anytime. I'm available. Um, yeah, yeah. So I'm easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, and tell us one more time how to find Westy Wagon. How do we find that show? How do we watch
Oh
it?
yeah, absolutely. Go to Instagram is at Westy Window Wagon. At Westy Window Wagon. YouTube is at John WCR.
Nice.
It's on
Cool.
YouTube. Just type in at John WCR.
Nice.
All right.
And I appreciate you spending some time today. I know you're in the airport, so if you guys got any questions,
Yep.
of course, let us know. That's what we're here for. There is also a special rep sale going on that is done today, I believe. So if you have anything, you need anything, call one of the reps. Any of us can get you a special discount deal, so definitely do it. Even though John's on the road, he will still answer his phone because that's just what
Oh
he
yeah,
does.
I've
He's a
been I've
machine.
been texting and making sales all day today. So
Nice, nice.
they
Well,
got
cool.
they
Hey, I
haven't used.
appreciate it, and we
All
will
righty, thanks.
we'll see you again tomorrow.